Up and Q&A. We're gonna organize some nuts and bolts today. It's a tall order, folks. Into that long white line. Into that long white line. I need a bucket. Welcome in. Tell me if my mic is working since you're first here. That's your job. We are doing, what's up, AFH? We're doing a little garage organization today. I figure we'll do a little Q&A with it too. Why not jump on live while I'm tinkering in the garage, huh? Trash can over here. Bucket slipped. Hey man, how are you? I am doing good. How are you, Plum Tired? Are you tired? Figured I'd jump on live, hang out with you guys, tell you a little bit about what's going on with the projects I've been working on, and I'm just gonna be organizing some nuts and bolts for a little bit, so might as well jump in here and hang out. This is a tedious process, but it's worth doing. Thanks, Tay the Gamer. Thanks for letting me know about the audio. You never know when I jump into lives whether audio's going or not. Hello from Macedonia. Holy cow. Sent by Jesus, 3719. I am doing well, guys. 42 years of plumbing would make anyone tired and worn out. Absolutely. I'm doing a plumbing job this week. I'm replacing my tankless hot water heater with a new ream unit. I got an electrician coming tomorrow to put a new dedicated circuit in my hot water heater cabinet. And then I got my valves, I got my concentric Y pipe, I got my new heater, I got my drip pan, and I'm gonna be doing the replacement myself. So wish me luck. I'll make a video on it too. So I'll show it on the channel once I'm done. It's fun, I'm excited. I'm very excited. But I am doing well. It's gonna be new, but I don't think it'll be hard. I try to keep reminding myself, if I can work on a twin turbo V8 BMW N63, I can do a hot water heater. And if you guys can do an oil pan, you can do a hose bib, a leaking outdoor faucet, hose faucet. As far as what's new with me, we got the convertible top working, which is huge news. I replaced rod bearings in the BMW N54 engine yesterday. I'm gonna start ordering up parts for the timing chain and the guides. I have 3 N54 videos to release for you guys. One of them is the first inspection video. What up, C. Colty? First inspection video, and then I also have a carbon cleaning video doing the media blasting on the back of the intake valves. And then the third video is going to be rod bearings, and that video is on the way. So I'm gonna try to release 2 videos a week for the next 2 weeks. So keep an eye out maybe for a release on Thursday around noon, and then I'll continue with my regular upload schedule on Sundays at 9 a.m. But I have enough videos to where I can start putting out 2 a week right now, and then we'll kind of go from there. What up, Viper? Hello from San Antonio, Texas. What's new with the E90? Just installed rod bearings last night, so stay tuned. We've got a rod bearing video coming. If I ever worked on an F4, F82, 83, it's an expensive car, so one, I gotta get my hands on one to work on it. Is that the S55? Because I've worked on the N55, so I know it a little bit, but correct me. Let me know if that's the S55. Bankhead, that's a good way to get kicked out of the chat. I don't even think you're a viewer. I'm not even gonna repeat what you said. That's pretty stupid. I wouldn't be very proud of myself if I went into someone's live and just spam stuff like that. So I'll give you another chance, but if you want to say anything else stupid, we'll just kick you out of here. Spill the details on the potential new upcoming project. Well, I kind of just did spill the deets. Oh, like upcoming project. Possible F-body. All right, Bankhead, I'll see you later, buddy. We're gonna give you a ban from the channel permanently. Let's see here. No timeout, that's not good enough. We're gonna hide the user from the channel. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Hopefully he's just banned permanently. There we go. Hey, from Texas, ever think about doing an ISTA setup overview video? I have a 2006 E85 project. I really want to, and I'm sorry I've been putting it off. I don't know how to like really screen record that well, and that's not an excuse. I don't want to give you guys any excuses. Let me know right now what you think, what you want to learn from ISTA. Like, what are your major questions? Yeah, don't mind that dude. He's just another NPC in the world, captured by the devil. Would you ever do a manual swap? I would. I don't really want to, but I would. If that answers your question. Tell me what you guys would want to see from an ISTA video. Like, what type of information are you looking to get? Because I didn't even install ISTA on my computer. I had an Asian dude remote in, and he installed it for me. And I know how to operate it, but as far as like installation, setting up the ICOM, I had someone remote in and do all that stuff for me. So, enjoy the big W. Yeah, let's go. Dude, I was stoked, man. Hi, buddy, start panting like a dog. I'll give you one more chance, Jacob. But you want to stay weird stuff like that, bro? I ain't panting for nobody. Give you one more chance, partner. Normally we don't attract the weirdos on YouTube Live. Normally it's TikTok. Viper, that celebration was real and authentic, dude. The satisfaction that I got from getting that job done, it felt amazing. It felt amazing. But yeah, tell me what you guys are looking to know about ISTA, and I'll try to share what information I have. Where's exhaust? As I sort my nuts and bolts. I hate working on the pedal area. Honestly, anything underneath down in the footwell sucks. Updates on project though. I will repeat myself for the people that are just now showing up. I did rod bearings on my N54 last night, and I posted a short on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. So if you guys want a little bit of info, you can find that on there. I'm working on ordering the timing chain components, timing chain guides. So we'll do all that, and then we can button up the oil pan. Other stuff I need to do: front crank seal, rear main, and then order a turbo installation kit, and I'll be ready to yoink the old engine out and swap everything over. Sage is out here somewhere. What would you price your manual E46 at? Currently in the market, but the price fluctuations are crazy. Honestly, this thing with the paint and with the current DSC issues, honestly, I'd price that car at like $3,500. What am I doing wrong, lolbird? Wrong is, I wouldn't say wrong. Have you worked on an E31 before? Not that I can recall. So where could you download ISTA? So if you want to go the legal way, you have to pay thousands of dollars to BMW. If you want to go the illegal way, you can torrent it online. And that is what I may or may not have done. And so I had someone who knows how to do that type of stuff, and they remoted into my computer and downloaded it for me. And then I bought an ICOM and the Ethernet cable from eBay, and then I had them remote into my laptop and set up the ICOM and Ethernet connection, and then I was off to the races and running. How do you source your I don't even know what ZCS is. I need ISTA and the other programs so I can code LCI headlights to my pre-LCI E60. I'm pretty sure there is other scan tools that can do coding, and there's other things besides just ISTA-P that can code. All I know is ISTA, because that's what I learned on with these cars at my old shop. And so ISTA is my main source and what I like to use. It doesn't mean that it's the only source that you can use. There's lots of other programs out there that have almost as much capability, but repair instructions, torque specs, and everything like that, ISTA is my favorite. I bought a 2011 335 XI manual, and it had a blown turbo. Replaced it, replaced it and did a couple of while you're in theirs, and I followed along your N54 turbo replacement video, and it helped a lot. Thank you. I really appreciate hearing that. That was a ass kicker of a video, but the main goal is to provide you guys with some information and help you along the way. And so I'm happy to hear that that video was helpful. That thing kicked my butt. Nathan, nobody's sending you money. I'm sorry. You should do a pick and pull video. Shopping for extra parts. I don't have any pick and pulls near me. So I tell you guys this every time I'm on live, but I live in a super remote part of Northern California. I don't even have any pick and pulls near me. If I lived in the Bay Area or lived in San Francisco or something, that would totally be a possibility, but there's literally like nothing out here near me, which kind of sucks. I got to order everything off eBay and online. Promo code for what, Frankie? Great channel, says Thomas McCarthy. Thank you, I appreciate it. My goal is to serve you guys in the community. So if you think I'm doing that, then I am successful at what I'm trying to do. So I really appreciate the support, guys. Launch code Reader2 will code anything on BMW plus 2S of diagnostics and updates. See, that's great information right there. Thanks for adding that in, Plum. Kicked my butt too. I bought so many tools and returned them when I finished. Dude, it is not an easy job. Book time on those turbos is almost 16 hours. And it takes that long. And like you saw in my video, I put it all back together and I mixed up the hardware for the turbo lines, and had to go back in, pull the engine mount bracket, pull the cats, go do all that junk again. That was an ass kicker. Really was an ass kicker. Been watching since about day 3 of teaching BMW owners how to work on their own cars. Dude, appreciate it. Yeah, that little Instagram series, like, got me so much traffic on Instagram. That was super awesome. I need to jump back into that series again. I still post the same type of content. I just don't use like that same hook, because you guys helped me meet my goal. My goal is to hit 100K, and then we hit 100K, and then I moved the goal to hit 200K, and then we hit 200K. And so now I'm just trying to follow that same format, but I'm not getting nearly as many followers anymore. Plum Tired's got the info. I bet you grew that mustache. Now you're too scared to shave it just in case the gap between your lip is too big. I have a decent gap, but that's not the reason why I'm scared. To be honest with you, this is the last piece of fire service that I have, but I am planning on shaving it soon. I grew this mustache just because it's, you know, fire service tradition, and my dad's had a mustache my entire life, and I can grow a pretty dang good mustache, so I'm pretty happy with it. It also makes me look a little bit older, which is nice. But now I'm getting to the age to where looking younger is better. So I'm gonna shave it soon, probably in the next couple months. You guys get me to 100K, I'll shave it. I have some steering play on my 99 E46, already changed the coupler, still having that play. I had play in my steering wheel on my E46, the one I sold to Mr. Daniel Watts out of El Paso, Texas, and it was in the rack and pinion. I replaced the rack and pinion and it fixed it. So just a thought. I think they might be rebuildable. I would do a little bit of research on that. Is this a scripted, pre-recorded video? No, nothing on my channel is ever scripted or pre-recorded. Bernie Falls or Lassen, isn't that remote? I'm in Humboldt County, Northern California, so you can do some research on that if you're interested. You should buy an Audi and mod it. I might be down to do an Audi one day. Big G! What's up, What's up, Gerardo? The man that gave me that E46 convertible behind me is in the chat. Gee, I got the paperwork from BMW Financial Services coming this week. Should show up soon, and then I'm going to take this thing down to the smog shop and get her smogged. So, she's coming along. Trying to do a valve cover gas in my BMW. Your video helped a lot. Awesome. What engine? Valve cover should be some nice, easy gravy work for you. I believe in you. What do you like, bro? I like a lot of things, but that's a pretty broad question. I like being of service. That's what I like. Got a 17 F34 X-Drive M Sport in mint condition. I love it. Bought it 2 years ago with 130K for 14K. I had to replace oil filter housing. Good on you. That is Gerardo who donated the car, Pablo. Big G. Alec is AI. Bro, I ain't AI. Get out of here. What are you working on? I'm just organizing some nuts and bolts. I've been trying to focus on organizing and cleaning up my garage for the last 2 days, and instead of just sitting here and doing it, I figured let's hang out. Maybe I can answer some questions and just chill and chop it up with you guys for a little bit. So here we are. I got old fishing tackle trays from when I worked at the shop with all kinds of stuff, you know, battery terminals and radiator drain plugs and little grommets for panels and pins for transmission shift levers and rotor screws and all types of stuff. So I'm trying to get it organized into my little parts rack from Harbor Freight. I don't know anything about the Pontiac Firebird, but I do like American cars. I was originally a truck and a Jeep guy, and to be honest with you guys, I didn't have any interest in BMWs or European cars, and I found a job on Craigslist at a place called Coast Motorwork. And I started there, and I went from Mazda to over there, and I started working on BMWs, and I started test driving them. I went, wow, these cars drive really nice. And then I worked there for 6 years, and that's where I got all my knowledge on BMWs from. So once I left the fire service, and well, while I was in the fire service, once I started a YouTube channel, I was like, well, let's buy an old E46 BMW, and we'll just document the process of cleaning it up. And 2.5 years later, here we are. So thank you for your support, guys, and making it all happen. Who's dropping a 5-bomb in here? Tiago! Love to see your content. Hope one day to meet you in person. Organize one day, hang out with the subscribers. North Carolina, who knows, dude? Maybe I'll be going to North Carolina with the giveaway car. But thanks for your support, Tiago. You've always been a real one. You're always in the chat. You're always in the comments. Really appreciate you, man. Give some W's in the chat for Tiago. What do you think about the B58? I don't know much about the B58. I don't have much experience working on them. Phone call. Oh, it's brother Eric. We'll call him later. Yeah, I know the B58s, they got big oil filter housing issues. I got a lot of these valve cover studs in here for the M54. Those are good to have. B58s, the oil filter housings just fall apart, right? First thing I would do is upgrade one of those to an aluminum or some sort of metal variety. But other than that, I've heard that they can be really solid. I haven't had much experience working on them yet, though, so I can't speak on them too much. What size is this stud? I need to put these valve cover studs somewhere separate. N52 engine's one of my favorites, so I don't know if you were asking a question about it, but I absolutely love the N52. It's one of my favorites. Dude, nice stash. Thanks, Jeff. Can the tie rods give that play? I don't think the owners changed that. They could. So put the car up in the air and wiggle it back and forth, or you can have someone wiggle the tire back and forth, and you can put your hand on the inner and outer tie rods and see if there's any play. That'd be a good way to go. Everton, you're cute. Nice mustache. Thanks, Everton. Got a vet. M56, 240K. You know, I can't tell you if I've ever worked on an M56. I'm not even familiar with the designation. You know, there's so many wizards out there that know so much more than me about these cars, but M56 is one that I have not seen yet, my friend. I'm not even familiar, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even familiar with like the other designations that Europe has. My local mechanic is willing to fix the E53. Yeah, the X5. Give me an option either to pay the cost to fix it or hand it over to me or fix it. Not sure what I would honestly just be patient and wait. And G, when you get that information, give me a call and let me know what he says, and I can help you figure out sort of which route to go based off what that thing will need. But yeah, just give me a call and let me know after you find out some more information on it. TVT Heat says mechanics are charging $200 an hour nowadays. It's crazy. It is crazy, and that's exactly why you guys need to subscribe to Day Off DIY. Watch my videos so you guys can learn to do these repairs yourself, because then you can have more fun money, and you can buy ribeye steaks every week and have some bitchin' food in the fridge, because you won't have to pay the mechanic all this money to fix your cars. That's the whole point of this channel, is to hopefully inspire and motivate you guys so you can start tackling some of these repairs. My favorite stories is just hearing viewers, you know, they had never done an oil service before and they started watching my channel, and now they're doing oil changes and brake jobs and valve covers and oil pan gaskets, and now they're going to pick aparts and buying used parts and just pulling off cylinder heads, and it's just so cool to see. And if that's one of the ways that I can make an impact, then my life will have been complete. And so that's what I absolutely love to hear, and I just want to encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zone and just try new jobs, right? For the most part, everything is fixable, you know. Sometimes it gets a little expensive. Sometimes you got to replace a motor like what happened to me, but, you know, with the right knowledge, a couple basic tools, and some good resources, you can do a lot of the jobs, if not every single job that I've showcased on my channel. I'm not special. Hey Donut, I have no idea how common for a faulty throttle body. I don't have too much experience on the B48s. Actually, I have no experience on the B48. That's the four-cylinder turbo, yeah? Yeah, I don't have any experience on that one. Or else I'd give you information if I had it, but I don't. Just to pick your brain, I have a faulty FRM, and sometimes lights will come on the dash and immediately go away. Is that cause? I don't know if I've seen FRMs cause lights on the dash. To my knowledge, FRM controls windows and locking. And sometimes we used to plug cars into ISTA and it would just take out the FRM, and it was the absolute worst. And we'd take it to the dealership and they would replace the FRM and code it for us. We also sometimes would replace the FRM and then program it in at the shop, but I don't know if FRM would cause lights on the dash or not. I might do a little bit of research, or you can check with ChatGPT, but sometimes ChatGPT can really get you into trouble. ChatGPT has steered me wrong in the past. E61 535XI, okay, wagon, twin turbo, X-drive, violently shaking under braking. Only initiates above 50 miles an hour, but after initiated, it will repeat at lower speeds. I'm 99.9% sure it is not the rotors. Slide pins or thrust arm bushings. Sounds like rotors. Sounds like rotors. You can get a pair of digital calipers that are designed for rotors, and you can check for run out, which you just measure with the calipers on the sides of the rotor thickness and see if you find any differences throughout the surface. That would be the first thing that I would check. That sounds exactly like warped rotors, especially at higher speeds. And luckily, if it is warped rotors, it's relatively easy to fix. So that's where I would start. Check run out. I just did a B58 oil filter housing for someone a month ago. Not too bad, but can be annoying. Yeah, it looks like it's buried down there pretty deep, but might as well get good at them, because it seems like that's one of the most common issues on those engines. It's so stupid to make an oil filter housing out of plastic. It's so dumb. How much do you usually charge for front lower control arms and tie rods? Well, I mean, I'm not exactly open to the public as a shop, so I charge $100 an hour. I could do tie rods in probably about 2 hours, plus the cost of alignment. Control arms, depends if I'm pulling the control arms out and pressing out the, actually, Let's see, E46, it really just depends on make and model too, but I don't want to steer you wrong with what my numbers would be, because that's not going to match numbers of the shop, because I don't repair cars for the general public. I just sort of do friends and family and people that hear about me word of mouth, or if I see a cool car at the gas station, I'll throw them a business card, because really I spend a lot of my time making content for other brands. It's how I pay the bills, and then I'm working on all my own stuff. Plus I'm not licensed and insured, and there's a lot of reasons why I do it the way that I do it, but all my cars are broken. I got my hands full with all my own personal stuff right now, to be honest. N52, let's go. I got a 13 328 coupe, 180, dude. If someone was like, what's the most reliable BMW engine? Probably would say N52. N51, N52, they're bitching. I missed the one that I gave away to Veronica Del Real in Phoenix. That car was so bitching. I got that thing so dialed. So I hope that she's enjoying it. I hope it's treating her well. We got a new member. Tiago's in the member. Let's go. Thanks, Tiago. 4-cylinder turbo BMW engines are trash. I agree. I don't like the N20 at all. Yep. Oil pump and timing chain issues and rod bearing issues, and yeah, I ain't a fan. My dream car is an E60 M5, but you know, how easy to work on. Honestly, like, as long as the rod bearings are done, I think maybe like the throttle actuators can act up, but for the most part, like, M cars stay a lot drier than non-M cars. They just, honestly, they just kind of like made them a little better. They made them a little tighter and drier. So I think that it's totally achievable. You just got to make sure to check the oil filters and make sure the rod bearings are good. What are the easiest cars to work on in your opinion? Like Honda? Are we talking BMW models? If I was talking BMW models, I'd say like a Z3 with the M54 or the M52, because it's just like so accessible. There's so much room in the engine bay. It's so easy to do valve covers. You don't have to remove anything, and it's just super convenient. Really depends on what make and models you're talking about. Well, what makes? Changed the rack and pinion in my 2001 Ford Ranger myself. Well done. Do you think dropping a rear cradle on the E90 is possible? Anything is possible in the driveway. You just need some tall enough jack stands. But first, Plum Tired, $5. Great channel. You explaining things very well and always give valid info. Thanks, Plum Tired. You've been a real one, dude. You've been supporting me like crazy as of recent. I'm always seeing your name in there, so I just want to say thank you for your support. I want to thank all you guys for your support, even if you're just tuning in for the first time on the live today. I wouldn't be in this position without you guys, and so as long as I can continue to provide as much information and value to you guys as possible, that's my #1 goal. How can I try to help you guys? Doing a valve adjustment on my mom's Civic tomorrow. It looks easy. Hopefully it is. Should go pretty easy. Everything I've done on Hondas has been pretty easy. All right, let's catch up real quick. I got a Z4 3.0 SI and a 128, both N52. They're bulletproof, just basic oil changes. Other plastic parts obviously fail and seals tube. Dude, both great options. Got to get back to work. Thank you, Alec. Let's get him to 100K. Big G, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. I think I'm behind on comments a bit. Oh yeah, I'm way behind. Sounds like death wobble. BMW's not hard to work on. BMWs are not hard to work on. YouTube and Alec are your best friends. Good info on this channel. Thanks, Plum Tired. Audio shaky? How's the audio now? Let me know. Hit the like button, guys. Did you put a screw in your mouth? No, that was his in. Thoughts on the Gabe Horn situation? I don't know who Gabe Horn is. What up, BMW Only Texas? Thanks for being a member. How hard is it to replace the headlights on a 2013 328xi? Is that like a late model E90? I believe it requires pulling the front bumper, but pulling the front bumper ain't too bad. You guys can do any job. Little YouTube university out there. What can I do to fix an oil filter housing strip bolt hole top and add it? I have a video on that exact job where one of the bolt holes was stripped. And I can see if I can find it real quick for you. I might have to dig pretty deep, but it's on there. It's on my blue E46. And the thumbnail is like, you know, he screwed me, something like that. I'm screwed. And I drill out the block and I put a helicoil in there and I fix it. So I have a video on that exact job if you can find it. How is it doing a torque converter on the 6L45? Fearing it since I have to do it on mine. Honestly, it's not that bad. The hardest part is pulling out the transmission, but you drop the exhaust, you pull the drive shaft, and then you get a little cheapo transmission jack from Harbor Freight. And I have a video on doing the torque converter on the E46 I sold to Daniel, and it's pretty straightforward, and it sort of covers all the bases you need. Do I brush my mustache? Sometimes. Currently restoring an E30 Vert rusted flooring. I'll post some pics in the process on Discord. Yes, please. I would love to see that. I'd like to see you do a video of an N54 all-wheel drive oil pan gasket. There's not many videos on the all-wheel drive. I just did one. It's called Fixing His X-Drive Oil Pan Gasket for Free. It's on an N52, but it's pretty much the same thing. Dropping the subframe, dropping the oil pan, pretty much the same exact process. And that is also like a 12-hour labor job, so it should cover everything that you need to know. What up, my dude? You love working on mechanic. I do. I wouldn't say I love working as a mechanic. I love fixing things and making them better. I love fixing broken things and improving them. It's one of the best feelings out there is fixing stuff, fixing something that was broken and saving it. And that's why I was jumping with joy when I fixed that E46 convertible. Is Z4 3.0 a good deal? Z4s, it really depends on condition and price, but I do love the Z4s. They're so incredibly easy to work on compared to other BMW models. So I would say that would be a great BMW to get into. Thanks, bro. You're the best. Hope I win the car. Hey, I hope you win the car too. I'm going to have to tie in with Big G and figure out how we want to do the selection process, whether we'll hand pick them or we'll do it random like I did with the other giveaway car. But everybody's got a really good chance because there's really not that many entries in there. Are you going to do rod bolts and wire the oil pump bolt on your replacement N55? I'm doing an N54. I already did the rod bearings. I put in ARP connecting rod bolts last night, but I won't be wiring the oil pump nut because it doesn't have, it's a Torx, and it's not an issue on those engines, I believe. N56 engines are a pain to work on, way more sensitive. Possibly. Do you know any Lebanese people? Maybe one or two. Can't think of anybody off the bat. Have a favorite Holy Grail BMW? E39 M5. Is Chinese radiator a bad idea? Yes, it is a bad idea. Tiago knows what's up. Honestly, OE. Buy OE from FCP Euro. If it leaks again in the future, send it in. Get store credit to get another one. OE or genuine. I wouldn't even install a Nissan's. You don't want to do that job twice. And in my opinion, cooling systems are my #1 priority on any BMW. You can top off oil if you have a slow oil leak. You can't top off a coolant leak if you start to overheat or dump your coolant on a long drive. You're screwed. You got to let the car sit. You got to let it cool down. And then even after all that, you know, it's just a bad move. So BMWs will, if you put cheap aftermarket O'Reilly or AutoZone parts in a BMW, it will chew them up and spit them back out. Go ahead, try to install an aftermarket mass airflow sensor in a BMW. It will, you'll be buying it twice, guaranteed. So that's why I partner with FCP Euro. OE parts, lifetime replacement guarantee, can't go wrong. What about a starter? Starter, same deal. I would go new or rebuilt OE equivalent. I believe a lot of them are Bosch. I feel like there's another brand out there that they use, but if I had to do a starter, I'd buy one from FCP Euro. They're common. That way, if it goes out again in the future, send it back to FCP Euro, get store credit. kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. You guys want to see these rod bearings? Kind of tired of organizing bolts. I've been trying to organize the garage a little bit, so I got the fishing section dialed in a little bit more. I'm gonna build a whole new storage rack for over here so I can get all these plastic bins and slide them all in and get my tools all bitchin' and organized. But I got the media blaster up there too, so let me grab my tripod. Every time I put aftermarket parts in my Benz and VW is never a good outcome. Same goes with BMW. Yep. E46 M3, my cluster stopped working. How to fix? There's a lot of, we used to send clusters in to specialists and then they would rebuild the entire cluster. I would probably recommend going that route. Stand by, I'm getting the tripod ready, boys. Which video was that? The oil pan gasket video. Was that on the N52? N54? I forget which one. I've done quite a few oil pan gasket videos now. But here is a look at the bottom end of the new N54. Yep. We got the dog. Oh, Amy, my favorite broken BMW, my favorite broken Bimmer dude and dog. So, here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crankshaft, all new. I'm gonna give you guys a close-up so you can see these bitchin' new 12-point ARP connecting rod bolts, all torqued to spec. And all of the journals in the crankshaft looked wonderful. I'm not gonna take them apart because I don't want to put it back together, but now I just need to get a new sprocket for the oil pump. We're gonna do new chain, we're gonna do new guides. And then once I do chain and guides, I can put the bottom end back on. But I'll show you I got the windage tray pulled apart here. These are aluminum bolts, so I need to source replacements. You can see the blue head on them. We have the oil pump pickup. Then we have the oil pump. We have all of the old connecting rod bolts, again, that I replaced with ARPs. And we have all of our old rod bearing shells. So I finished this job last night. It's gonna make a great video. It's gonna be strictly just on rod bearings while the engine is on the stand, but they all came out well. And the video should be great. I also got my new Sage plaque put up on the wall, so she can be immortalized. You making a video about building that engine? I feel like it would be cool if you did. I am. I got 3 long form videos that are coming out. I'm gonna post one on Thursday, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. I'm gonna post another one on Sunday, 9 a.m. Then I'll post another one on the next Thursday. So I just did 2 E46 videos, and next I'm gonna do 3 N54 videos. Any suggestion on keeping rotors from getting rusted and pitted while sitting? Drive it every now and then. And I mean, that's the best way to keep the rust off them, right? Also, I like to use coated rotors. I like to use Zimmerman coated rotors. That way the outside edge, it always has that coating on it and it won't rust. So if we never replace the shaft, then we can just replace bearings. I'm thinking of replacing them. Since I'm down there, replacing control arm bushings, tie rod, oil pan gasket. If you're talking about shaft, I believe you're talking about crankshaft. The crankshaft doesn't need to be replaced as long as the journals are nice and clean and within spec. The rod bearing is a protective shell that sits between the crankshaft. The crankshaft goes inside here, the crankshaft journal, and then the rod bearing sandwiches it down onto the crankshaft like that. So as long as this rod bearing doesn't spin, your crankshaft journal should be totally fine. What engine is it, Jose? Because some BMW engines are more prone to rod bearing issues than others. And I made a short form video that I posted today talking about exactly that. I have a 120,000 mile N54, need to do oil pan gasket. Should I do rod bearings? I'm kind of nervous to touch them. The M54 is not very common for rod bearing issues. I would cut your oil filter open and see if you can see any metallic material in there. If you can, I would definitely do the rod bearings. But I've never had to do rod bearings on a Mario 54, an M54. And so honestly, you should be just fine doing oil pan gasket, tie rods, control arms. To answer just another E92's questions, the N54, I have never seen a rod bearing issue on these engines besides the engine that I have in my E90 that started producing all that metal. As you can see, this is a 150,000 mile rod bearing, and it's not even through the first layer of material. These have like multiple layers. Lead, copper, and once you start to get through this first layer, you can see different types of materials. Personally, my game plan, like, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have a used engine that I was swapping in there. If I was just maintaining and working on an N54, I probably wouldn't do rod bearings. But again, if you see material in your oil filter or in your oil, chances are it's probably coming from the rod bearings. Another thing to look out for on these engines that I just learned about that I'm going to pull and inspect on the top end is the camshaft ledges. Basically where the camshaft sits and rides in the cylinder head, it can start to like walk forward and wear into part of the cylinder head, sort of like the bucket that it sits in. And that's another cause of metal production on N51s, N52s, N54s. I don't know if it's on N55s, but N54s have forged internals, forged crankshaft, and they have some of the strongest internals out of any BMW engine. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the rod bearings as long as it was well maintained. Because like I could have ran these rod bearings for another 100,000 miles, no problem. I didn't need to replace them, but it makes for good content, and that means that this engine will be that much stronger when I do put it back in. What up, Rob? Look at this rod bearing out of the N54, dude. Look how good that thing looks. Hold on, I gotta catch up real quick. What's your game plan on getting the engine back in? So, I have two thoughts. My first thought was buy a hydraulic lift table from Harbor Freight, slide it underneath the subframe, and dump the subframe out from the bottom of the car. Lift the car up using my max jack system, and then just wheel the subframe and engine out, cherry pick it, put the new one in, swap all my components, slide the subframe back under, and drop the car back down. But if I do that, my lift is going to be occupied until I get the engine and the subframe back in. So if I have other projects or I need to like put my E46 up in the air in the meantime, I don't want to take out my lift for that long. So if that's the case, then I'm going to cherry pick it. I haven't really decided yet. I still need to do timing chain, guides, front crank seal, rear main, and then buy the turbo installation kit from FCP Euro to swap all the turbos over, as well as time the engine, valve cover gasket, all that stuff. So I still have a little bit of work to do before I get to picking the old one out and putting the new one in. Alec, I have a Subaru work to do. Why do these cars fail so much? It's always, dude, I bet you BMWs probably fail the same amount, if not more, than Subarus. My M52 TU makes a bit of a problem when I hit the brakes to slow down. It begins to shake a bit. What could it be? Probably warped rotors. I would check your brakes. You can buy a brake rotor digital caliper set or digital caliper, and you can basically just take a measurement, spin the rotor a little bit, take a measurement, and see if the measurement varies, right? Because that's going to create a waviness. Then when you step hard on that brake pedal, it's going to cause brake pedal to pulsate in the steering wheel. If it feels like it pulsates in the rear, it's warped rear rotors. If it feels like it pulsates in the front in the steering wheel, it's warped fronts. Hey Alec, love the vert roof repair video. Are you going to tidy up the interior before the giveaway? Absolutely. I'm going to do seat covers. I'm going to try to fix the loose flaps in the convertible top, and then I'm going to collaborate with my boy TCN Auto Aesthetics, and he's going to do a full detail on the interior. But other than that, I just put a new A-pillar on the passenger side, and we're going to do a full detail seat covers for those torn seats. I'm not going to replace the seats. It's too much money. I'm trying to be as cost efficient as possible because all this is coming out of my own bank account. I just changed my power steering pump on my 750i. That messed me up, dude. Some of the 7 Series and big V8s can be a pain in the butt. Nice E46, I got an E90. Sick, let's go. $2,000 for 124,000 kilometers is a good deal. French, what you mean by rotors? Yeah, dude, super cherry. Rotor warpage, for sure, that'd be the first thing I'd check. Did a lot of work to it. Last thing I did was cat converters. I shat my pants, dude, right? Especially if you're in California and you need California cats. You may know why my E46 328i got variations in the RPMs when it's cold. Could be an air leak somewhere. I would smoke test for vacuum leaks. Chances are it probably has a torn intake boot. M54 is so incredibly common for torn intake boots. That would be the first thing I'd check. Could be a possible breather issue, but I would start with a smoke test on the intake. Do you have a check engine light for any lean codes? Not sure if you have come across it yet, but do they sell a sail panel repair kit for the convertible top? Make sure you have dental tools when you do it. It'll make it easier. They do. I've seen it all over the place, and if sail is what you're talking about with these little parts, they do. So I'm gonna have to install these and repair it. But other than that, the convertible top's working really good. And then the next video I'm doing is I'm gonna be getting all the water out from underneath the convertible boot. I've learned that that's where all my water leaks are coming from. Water gets down into here. There's drain holes that are supposed to be free, and those drain down to in front of the wheels. Those drains are clogged. It fills up, and then it backfeeds into the trunk, into my battery compartment, which there was a bunch of standing water in there I got rid of. You can see rust inside the spare tire area, and you can see old water lines. And this compartment got water in it. Underneath my back seat, that had a bunch of water in it. And then I had a bunch of standing water down in here that I just got cleaned up. Turns out all of them is coming from in here. So I'm gonna be making a tool this week and doing a video on how to clean those drains on the convertible. Jester, what was your way of doing it? I saw the dealership method is to pull the brackets and remove the convertible top. I've also seen some people on YouTube, they'll pour Drano in the convertible boot and just let it sit there and drain, but I ain't going Drano route. I ain't going Drano route. My game plan is to get like a coat hanger with a piece of vacuum hose and then like try to find the drain hole because it's so buried under those brackets, and then spray some compressed air. Don't worry, I'm not doing Drano plumb tired. That's a hack method. Yeah, I don't think the E90 convertibles have the same style. Any early signs of oil leaks from common BMW points? If it's on the bottom of the engine towards the bell housing of the transmission, it's oil pan. If it's on the driver's side, down in the front end, it's usually oil filter housing. If you're getting smoke over by the exhaust, it's usually valve cover, and those are the big three. Tiago, I really want to do merch, but my challenge is, okay, if I order a bunch of sizes and get it shipped here, I have to handle sales and shipping. And I'm already busy enough as is. And then I'm running a full-on secondary business of selling merch. So I was talking to a guy this last week. I'm looking for someone that can print on demand and also handle shipping. He didn't seem like a trustworthy source, so I'm not going with him. I would like to, but I don't want to take away from my channel by putting too much time and energy into merch. It would be nice to have a small income source from it. So if I can find the right person to do it with, I would love to. Another thing, and I brought my notepad out here to ask you guys this. Do you have any ideas of brands that you would like to see Day Off DIY work with? Because I'm gonna be doing some brand outreach this week. And just any thoughts, you know? FCP Euro is a big one. They've been a huge supporter on the channel. We're also doing a little bit of content with Continental Tire, which is absolutely huge, right? Like, what a dream come true to have Continental Tire in my corner. And then I'm also going to be doing some content with Convertible, and Convertible has been a huge supporter too. So we're going to be doing a collaboration once a quarter. And so hand tools, Convertible is in my corner. Tires, Continental's in my corner. Auto parts, FC Puro's in my corner. And I don't want to compete with them with any other brands. But if you guys have any ideas, I would love to jot down some ideas and do some outreach this week. What would you recommend to get my battery from my battery is good but future thinking? Where would you recommend to get my battery from? My battery is good but future thinking. Oh, gotcha. I like Interstate batteries. Honestly, like batteries from, there's like one battery manufacturer or like maybe two battery manufacturers for the US, and they just slap different stickers on them. So honestly, for these cars, I'll just go to O'Reilly and AutoZone. It's just important to get the same group size, and BMWs run off of like the designation for them is like H5, H6, H7, H8, H9, standard lead acid or AGM. And you need to make sure you have the same group size so it has the same amp hours. And then for anything newer than like E46, E39, you need to program the new battery into the vehicle using a capable scan tool or ISTA. You think I'll be fine if I just clean the Vano system till I can buy the rebuild kit? And what kit would you recommend? I was told by my buddy Mario, who is a professional BMW tech, don't rebuild the Vanos, send it out as a core and buy an already pre-built one from a professional. So when I run into Vanos issues, that's what I'm going to do. I can't believe my wife's timing chain is going on her Passat, just venting. That sucks, man. Timing chains are a pain in the ass to do, but if you could tackle it, like you'd feel so confident in the car, as long as it's not chewing up a bunch of metal on the timing case, the timing covers, and putting metal in the engine. Compressed air is what I'm gonna do, Plum. Use something softer than a coat hanger. I've seen people try Weed Whacker line, but not sure if it'll work. Mine were normally just at the bottom. I didn't see any drain points on the bottom, and I'd love to just attack it from the bottom and even spray compressed air up. But I need to try to do some research, see if I can find some Google images on where the drain lines come out on the bottom. That's a good idea though, thank you, Jester. Do as pre-order. That's not a bad idea. I would need to order some samples beforehand and make sure that the quality is good. But the first design that I want to do is my Sage Day Off DIY design. I absolutely love that. I think I might turn that into a tattoo as well. It's not going to say Day Off DIY, it'll say Sage underneath, and I'll get rid of the wrench. Any idea on how to recalibrate a Speedo? Depends on what car. You know, there's Speedo gears. If you change tire sizes, you can change Speedo gears. I think you can do it on ISTA. Are fluid levels and condition where you'd expect for the mileage? On what vehicle? Bunker branding for the merch? I don't know what bunker means. BMW would be a cool brand. Oh, are you saying that like bunker branding is a company? I'll look into that. Bunker branding. BMW would be a cool brand. That's sick. Your smoke machine is awesome, by the way. So I work for Autoline Pro. I didn't create and make that smoke machine, but I'm their primary content creator. And so we've been working together for 2 years, and I make their content for them. Talk to the Rag Company based out of Idaho for detail stuff. Rag Company, Idaho. The Rag Company. I was supposed to start working with Gyeon, Gyeon, but they ended up putting their ad dollars into something else, but that would have been a really nice detail collaboration. A Premium, I ain't competing with FCP Euro. They've believed in me, and I'll be FCP Euro as long as I can. I'm looking at an E46 325 Ci this weekend. What would be the best questions to ask the owner? I have an E46 buyer's guide. Search that on my YouTube channel, E46 buyer's guide. It will have everything that you need to know. Only Stretton is the crazy guy rebuilding Vanos. And you know, he's incredibly knowledgeable, and I would trust him with the process. But some things, it's just better to buy a pre-built one. There's lots of washers, and it's difficult to get it all back together, and you can have a warranty behind it, and yeah. You should reach out to Blaster, get some nice products for them to use, like PB Blaster. Dude, so smart. I actually use their products. I've been using their silicone lubricant, and I'm a big fan of it. I reached out to CRC, Brake Clean, and I couldn't get through to them. I tried calling customer support. I'm like, hey, let me talk to marketing. And they're like, oh, we're not allowed to give you that info. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to get in touch with them then? Blaster. I saw What No Way does work with him. Or no, he does work with CRC. But PB Blaster's sick, and No Nonsense Know-How works with them. And I could crush it for them. That'd be great. Where do you get your specialty tool kits from? I just bought a timing kit. It is CTA. It was pricey. I just bought this. This is a timing kit, N51, N52, N53, N54, N55. CTA, I bought it from FCP Euro. So, specialty tools I also buy from FCP Euro, plus my parts. I've got a parasitic battery drop. Battery loses charge after a few days. Any common sources you suggest? E46 330i. Shoot, I'm not that good at parasitic battery draws. There's ways you can set up a multimeter between the grounding cable to the battery, and you can read draw, and then you close all the doors and you lock the car and you let it go to sleep, and then you measure it, and then you can go up into the fuse box and start pulling power for different components and wait until you see that battery drop. Sometimes it wakes the car up when you pull those fuses. I'm not the best at it. There's also an amp clamp that you can install on the ground wire from battery, and it looks like this, and you plug it into your multimeter and it goes over it, and you have different amperage settings, and you can do it that way. The first thing I would look at would be if you have anything aftermarket installed into the car, aftermarket lighting, aftermarket headlights with LED sources, dash cam, aftermarket security system, because those are usually wired incorrectly and it produces battery draws. Also, I think the blower motor are known for shorting out and causing battery draws, so hope that helps a little bit. Honestly, I'm not gonna do a video on a DIY wheel alignment. I believe in taking it to a shop, having it done properly. You could like rough it if you needed to drive it to the alignment shop after heavy steering work, but I'm not that interested. Sage is the true star. Yeah, I have ISTA, so it's helpful on my 7 Series since there's not many people showing repairs on them, but thanks for the battery information. No problem. Hedgehog, AKA final stage resistor is common parasitic draw culprit. Yep, blower motor, final stage resistor. Wissa, I don't know what you mean. Are fluid levels and condition where you'd expect for this mileage? BMW. Jester, thank you. I'm totally gonna look into bunker branding. I don't know, I don't really know how to answer that. Are fluid levels and conditions where you'd expect for this mileage? Every car is different. It all depends on how it's been maintained and what the mileage is and what sort of leaks. So, you know, every car is different. Every car is a unique situation. Bunker Branding is a company that does merch for a ton of YouTubers. Awesome. I'm totally going to check them out then. Bunker Branding. Got it. Because I need someone reputable that's going to make good quality stuff. If I'm going to ask you guys to buy a product from me, I want the shirts to be quality like this. I want the sweatshirts to be quality. I want them to fit nice and fit snug around the arms so we can look fit and buff and look good. You know what I'm saying? I don't want big, loose-fitting, bacon neck, Garbo t-shirts. Is there any parts websites that you would warn us about that are a scam or just bad? Honestly, BMW, Mini Cooper, Audi, VW, Mercedes, FCP Euro. I'm not just saying that because they work with me. I'm saying that because I spent thousands and thousands of dollars with them before we started working together. And honestly, they got the best pricing. They have the best warranty. They have the best customer support and technical support. I don't go anywhere else. And if it's like little rebuild kits for the convertible top and stuff, I go eBay. But I stick with who I like. From Argentina, I have an E46 diesel. I love it. Can you give me some? Honestly, I don't really know anything about those diesels, but as far as advice, my E46 buyer's guide would be a great resource for you because the chassis is the same. Engine's just different. A small dry ice blaster would be sick. I just want to make sure. Andy, you said Chemical Guys. Honestly, I do like some of Chemical Guys products. I use their VRP. I have a bunch of their polishing compound. I bought their Torx polisher. They did reach out to me with a campaign, and we didn't end up working out, but it's not a bad idea. Chemical Guys is a good recommendation. I was watching your video on the E46 330i sedan buyer's guide and saw you were live. Is there sick, dude? I was just talking about that video. Let's go. No, it is exactly the same on the B25 and the B30. Coolant oil leak locations exactly the same. Water pipes, radiators, upper lower hose, thermostat water pump, all the same. How'd you learn about cars, man? I wanted to learn cars, and I really wanted a modified car when I was like 16, so I bought a Jeep Cherokee, started doing lift kit, stereo, lighting, wheels, tires, roof rack bumpers. Started working at O'Reilly Auto Parts when I was 16, worked there for 2 years, and then I got a job at Firestone right in service at 18 or 19, and then apprenticed at Mazda for 6 months, and then worked at a BMW Mini Cooper specialty shop for 6 years, and then took a couple college classes too. And I was in Auto Academy in high school, so it's just been a slow process of learning what I know up to now. I don't know a lot. That's the big thing about automotive. You'll be learning until the day you die. So as long as you can remain teachable. Why did this show up in my feed? What is this about? What do you drive, 0 Alpha 1173? My name's Alec. I teach BMW owners how to try to fix their own cars. I'm currently giving away this BMW E46 when I'm done with the restoration. I'm currently rebuilding a BMW N54. I'm currently organizing my shop here at home. Maybe that's why I showed up in your feed, but welcome to the channel, and we're happy to have you here. Keep getting the 30FF code on my N54 E60. Replace solenoids to the smoke test. Is 30FF, remind me guys, is 30FF boost control? Is that boost? Chat's behind, I'm behind on chat a little bit, so I'm gonna 30FF N54. Turbocharger, charge air pressure tool. It's probably wastegates. The wastegates go out, so if they're rattling and the wastegates aren't closing all the way, you're going to be losing boost pressure. If you've replaced the solenoids, adjust the wastegates a little bit if you can. It's not a permanent fix. Chances are you probably need turbos, sadly. C. Colty, I need to step it up and get some merch out. I just don't want to have to invest too much time and energy into the purchasing, the shipping, the sales, all that. So like I said before, I need a print-on-demand company that can handle sales and shipping, and I need to get some samples so I can test the quality of the product. The one and only Nicole, have you ever considered a nose job? Absolutely not. You know why? God made me the way I am, and I'm happy with that. And if he wants me to have this Italian nose that I have, I think it's a beautiful nose. Have you ever considered a nose job, Nicole? No, that's not nice. I can't even see your nose. I'm sure you probably have a beautiful nose too. But that's a weird comment. And also, what are good beginner tools to buy when first working on your car? Go cheap. Go to Harbor Freight, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, buy a beginner Husky set with all the sockets that you need. And when you need a new tool, buy that tool, buy cheap. And then once you really start getting into these things, like, dude, I'm still rocking Husky sockets that I bought when I was 16. Don't buy Snap-on, waste of money. Knipex, if you're buying pliers, buy Knipex pliers. They're German, they're the best in the business. I'm not just saying that because I have a bunch. They're the best plier manufacturer in the game. You cannot go wrong with Knipex. Ask any mechanic, nobody has anything bad to say about Knipex. But start cheap, Power tools, I love Milwaukee impact gun, Milwaukee 3/8 and 1/4 inch electric ratchet, but go cheap so you can have more tools. And as you build your toolkit out, as you work on more cars, you can upgrade. Swirl flaps, yeah, I think I've done maybe swirl flaps before. Sage is gonna find you. Sage is gonna find you and bite your nose off. I didn't even retract your comment. Did you retract your comment? Maybe we scared her out of here. You do great work, Alec. Thanks for showing us your magnificence. Hey, dude, I am not magnificent. I'm just a regular dude, just like all of you guys. I just happen to be talking in front of a camera right now. But any of you could be in the same exact position that I'm in. I am incredibly grateful for your guys' support, though, but I ain't special. I am not a special human by any means. I'm just a dude in his garage trying to fix up some BMWs and share some information along the way. Hey, big dog, what are your thoughts about the BMW Z3? Basically as fun as an E36? Yes. Z3s are rad. Z3s are great. They're little go-karts. Powered by the M54, the N52. They're nice and light. They rip. They're so fun. It's like driving Mario Kart. So send in my M54 B30 Vanos quarter to be rebuilt as a professional. Do you know any? Dr. Vanos, Rob's got you covered right there. And you probably buy one and then you just send yours in as a core. So I don't think they rebuild yours. I think they probably just do a swap, which would be way better because the turnaround time would be way better. Harbor Freight Icon ratchets are made by the same factory. Honestly, like, yeah, Icon would be a great way to go for ratchets. I'm a big fan of Harbor Freight. I wouldn't buy their pliers. I'd still buy Knipex pliers. I was looking at Harbor Freight's pliers the other day. They're trying to go with the same snap-on grips, but Knipex is the move. E46 giveaway will be in a couple months. I'm taking my time with it. We got to do some water leaks. I got to figure out the electrical gremlins in the general module, the GM. Windows aren't working right. Seat controls aren't working right. And then I got to source front and rear bumpers, as well as some of the fender well pieces. Get all that dialed in, and then this thing's going to get a little bit of paint love. And then we got to do interior detail. What do you use to torque down small stuff like valve over screws rated for 6 foot-pounds? I use a cheapo little 1/4 inch torque wrench from Amazon. And this thing goes down to 2.26 Newton meters. And so, yeah, it's in inch pounds. Goes as low as 20 inch pounds. So 20 divided by 12, you do the math. Works great. You need a 1/4 inch torque wrench. You need a 3/8 torque wrench that can do Newton meters and angle torque. And you need a 1/2 inch torque wrench. Hey, Rob, you're special too. Thank you. Love the N54 series and all your videos. Learning a lot from it about my own car. That's awesome. I really, really appreciate that and glad you're enjoying the series. I got N54 videos coming out this week. Thursday, Sunday, next Thursday. I got 3 locked and loaded, ready to go. So subscribe and stay tuned. Hello from Seattle. I really enjoy your videos. You've been a big help and lots of knowledge on E46. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you, MCZ 2024. Appreciate it. C. Colty. Had to drop my exhaust to do some repairs, and now that I have it back up, everything's bolted back together with new gaskets. I'm getting O2 heater codes every time it starts. What should I do next? M52. Chances are, maybe you used an impact. You probably didn't unplug your O2 sensors. N52, there shouldn't be any O2 sensors on the cat back. Maybe something got a little funky with the connectors, or you impacted or air hammered on the flange studs, which sent a shock up into the O2 sensors, and they just got jostled a little bit and the heater circuits got messed up. I would probably just slap some O2s in it and call it a day. On these BMWs, what's the most overlooked preventative item you see fail first, even when maintenance is done on time? It really depends on which engine. A lot of people do oil services on these cars and think that's all that they need. But oil leaks cause all sorts of havoc on power steering lines, on radiator hoses. Cooling system is my #1 priority on any BMW. That's the first thing that I like to do is cooling system. Because if a car overheats and you drive it, you can smoke the head gasket. Oil leaks, you can top off oil, but cooling system is always number priority, #1. A coin fell in my E46 smoker port oh, like the little ashtray thing? You can take those apart pretty easy. What's the most memorable repair you've had to do? Story time. I was working at the shop, Coast Motor Work. I did an oil filter housing on an N55. I drove the car, made it like half a mile. Car was nice and warm. Green light, gave it the juice, the engine seized on me. It just died. I coasted, put it in neutral, coasted over to the side of the road, tried to start it. The starter started smoking. Engine bay started smoking. So I got out, started ripping all the stuff apart, trying to figure out where it's coming from. Had my buddy come by with his truck, threw a strap on it, towed it back to the shop, and I seized the engine. Rod bearings, spun a bearing, and completely seized. And so that is why you prime the oil system after doing N55 oil filter housing gaskets. So I put a new engine in it. I can't remember if it did the same thing. I can't remember or not. It might have seized 2 engines. It was brutal. It was brutal. And we had to pay for everything because it was my fault. So yeah, that would probably be the most memorable and one of the most painful. Do you have any chargers you would recommend for keeping the battery charged during a flash? I need to get one personally, so I can't recommend one. We used to have a big snap-on battery tender, and you can set it to 14 volts while you code and program, and that thing was absolutely bitching. But I don't have any of that right now, and I'm constantly dealing with it. I need a battery charger for when I'm bleeding cooling systems on e-chassis, so I can't recommend one yet, but I'm also in the market. Craig says, far too modest, Alec. You should be incredibly proud. I am proud. I am proud, and I do want to be of service, but I ain't gonna toot my own horn about it. And I believe that all of us have so much potential, and if I didn't have the right people in my corner to push and encourage me to take the steps that I did to start this channel, I wouldn't be here. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to be modest. I'm incredibly proud of what I've been able to achieve so far, and I want to achieve more. But credit goes to God, and you know, I'm trying to work hard. I could work harder, but I'd like to just. My ultimate goal is just leave the planet better than when I found it. Progress, not perfection, and so. Last thing I want is a big head. I don't want to end up like all these other, not all these other, but other YouTube channels that I see that get money hungry. At the end of the day, this channel will always be service and community based. And that's what I want to help pass on to the next generation of techs and whoever wants to consume my content, is be able to instill my morals and values into my content besides just cars and automotive. Dude, that makes sense. I did have to use heat with an air hammer. Yep. Yeah, you probably just sent too much shock into those O2s and broke the heater circuit inside. I hear it comes loose. What are some recommendations for that? What are we talking about? Comes loose. I don't see previous comment. Do you have any tattoos? I do. I have a mom tattoo there. I have an old Sailor Jerry tattoo, and I have a little desert scene, and then I have a tattoo in remembrance of my grandpa, and I got some wrenches. I'm a patriotic man, and so that's my patriotic tattoo. What's the first thing I should inspect or watch out before buying an 04 E46? Watch my E46 buyer's guide. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Control arm bushings, struts, water pipes, oil filter housing, valve cover, oil pan, shock mounts. Everything you need to know is in that video. E46 buyer's guide. On the G01X3, what's the first non-obvious issue you see? I don't have any experience with G chassis, so I wish I could help you, but I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to G chassis. Hey, I found your channel just a few months ago and your videos inspired me to work on my car more. I took the time with a colleague of mine figuring out the power steering started leaking. Yes, let's go, voltage. Boom, that's what this channel is all about. Motivating some people to start turning wrenches. Because how good did it feel to find the issue with that car, you know? Now you know. And any future car, you'll be able to diagnose a power steering leak. And now you can start doing oil leaks and coolant leaks and buy a cooling system pressure tester. And your toolkit up here is gonna get so much bigger and you're gonna just be a stronger, more confident person in general. Bro, what do you know about getting a 2001 BMW through California smog? Check engine light is always on. Mechanic says it's an electrical issue. First, you need to figure out what your problem is. That's not an acceptable answer. It's just to say it's an electrical issue. What is the code? What component is it pointing to? Is it a wiring harness issue? Is it a module issue? Is it a mass airflow sensor? That info is not good enough for me. I would need more information. If you have a check engine light on, you're never going to pass smog. You can dirty smog it, but then in another year or two, you're going to have to pay another $350, and your car's not going to be running as good. So, what do you use for your post editing on your video? So I edit everything on my phone, and I use an app called VLLO. I also work with an editor, and I've been working with this editor for maybe about 2 years now. So all of my most recent long form videos with nice, smooth, bitchin' time lapse and all that different stuff. Shout out Sahil. It's my editor, and we've been working together for a while, and it allows me to do more work in the garage as long as I have the budget to do so. I crank out the long forms, I send them over to him, he edits them up for me. I still do some of the editing myself. Like my hose bib video I released a couple days ago, I did that editing. My short form video I posted on YouTube Shorts and Instagram today, I did that edit. So I still do some edits, but the real fancy ones you see, that's my boy Sahil. There's a team of two. There's me and one editor. Yo, love the videos. Thank you, Royal Slade. Royals Lade. How is your brother's Tundra doing? My dad has a Sequoia 2003. I got motivated with your videos to do some repairs. The engine has been great. The knock sensor faulted twice, which is buried under the intake, and I really don't want to go in there and replace it, but we're testing out running 89 octane instead of 87 octane because technically we machine the cylinder head surface, which slightly increases compression. So it's possible that we could have some pre-detonation from a lower octane fuel. And so we're just going to keep ignoring that knock sensor. It hasn't come back since he switched to higher octane. So other than that, everything that I did on my brother's Tundra, solid and bitchin'. The truck's running great. No leaks, no problems, no nothing. Do you want to be homies, dog? We are homies already, Benjamin. Keep shining. Love your content. Appreciate you. Hi, have you ever fixed up an E46 in limp mode? I have. I think I've had a torque converter issue that caused limp mode, but honestly, like whenever I run into trans issues, we had a German transmission rebuilder in Orange County, and they would bring us remanufactured transmissions, flush all the lines for us, and then we'd give them our cores. So I'm a fan of just swapping reman transmissions because I don't know anything about transmissions. If you want to learn about transmissions, follow this dude Rigo Ratio. I went to SEMA with him 2 or 3 years ago with Autoline. Dude's a wizard, and he's blowing up pretty fast on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. He's super smart with transmissions. I am a caveman with transmissions. I don't really know anything. I've pulled valve bodies and I've done the shift solenoids before, and I've done torque converters and plenty of services and some transmission fluid leak repairs, but other than that, I haven't really like gotten into the weeds. The car is a 2005 E90 318D. We got it all fixed up and it's a great car to daily. Absolutely love it. Love from Europe. Let's go, Voltage. Good job, dude. If your channel exploded, like really, really exploded, would you ever get a small shop like outside your garage? Or will you forever stay here and keep yourself small? Well, if I were to, I'm gonna give you guys the ultimate scoop. I'm gonna give you guys the vision here, okay? I will always be doing automotive. I'll always fix up cars. I'll always give away cars. I would like to hit a goal of giving away 100 cars in my lifetime. I think that would be a super cool goal to reach. I don't want to be a professional automotive shop. It's a full-time job. It requires 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, payroll, multiple people working under me. My ultimate goal is to allow you guys to find me and find my channel and not only follow me for the value and information I provide, but follow my channel because you guys like who I am as a person. So that whether it's a BMW video or a tankless hot water heater video, you guys want to watch because you just enjoy what I can provide as a human. Ultimately, I want to get into property and DIY repairs. I want to do more fence repair videos. I want to build a house. I want to learn how to plumb an entire house. I want to learn how to do electrical and pour foundations. And I want to build tiny houses and build bigger gardens and build a greenhouse and have maybe some cattle, some beef cattle one day. And so there will always be an automotive aspect to the channel. But I would like to incorporate more things within my life. Fishing, taking the boat out, home repairs, things like that. It's just right now, my home repair videos don't gain as much traffic as my other BMW stuff does. And a lot of you guys are here for BMW stuff. So I'll continue to provide that for you. But I would like to diversify what my content includes. And building a barn dominium, showing you guys that process, buying raw land, putting in utilities, putting the first structure up, framing it out, all that cool stuff. That's what I'd really, really like to do. And I'll always be working on cars, cleaning them up, fixing them up, showing you guys maintenance, repairs, all that stuff. So that's my ultimate vision. On an E90 with a 4-cylinder, you don't have them, the N46, but they're a great Rubik's Cube to work. I bet. You want a Sage cameo? Here she is. Ew. Getting some sunshine. Oh yeah. There's your Sage cameo. Little pink belly. She's tatted up. She's from the streets. It's the best dog. And they say bullies are mean breeds. She's a sweetheart. You keep sunbathing, pup. Get your sunshine. Chicken cameo too. Hopefully that satisfied your Sage cameo request. Cool channel, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ibrahim Sultan. Ibrahim Sultan. I think I got it right. I can't even lie. I'm about as high as a cat's back. I hope you're enjoying yourself, Nate. Got no 325i, no start. Fuel pump, thermostat, water pump, crankshaft sensor replaced, but still no turnover. So it doesn't even fire up, huh? No crank? No crank, no start? Or is it a crank, no start? I hear the M54B30 oil pump nut comes loose. What are some recommendations to prevent it? I hear ECS Tuning has one with the wire tied down, but that can also cause it to shear off. I don't have any experience with seeing any of them come loose. I think I've maybe heard a horror story of someone having it come loose high RPM on a track day. I haven't done the repair myself yet. Wire nut seems like a good idea. Or maybe like clean it super bitchin' with brake cleaner when you install it and Loctite it real good. If you really wanted to do it, you weld that sucker on there. Weld it while it's on the motor. On our Geo1 B58, coolant stuff like the other B58s, rad flaps, front wheel hubs, plastics, pretty standard BMW stuff. Team of three, yes. Your editor's great, he keeps the Alec feel. Thanks, Rob. I think we've done a really good job of finding that balance, right? Dang, I'm back a little bit. I gotta catch up. No, Toyota's, that knock sensor, yeah, that knock sensor sucked, but took your advice. I replaced it while I was in there. I also did the starter too, so I'm pretty confident with it. Shave that goofy mustache, Super Mario. Says this guy Zuko is here with a freaking, what are you rocking, an Avatar the Last Airbender icon? Who are you talking about, Goofy? You could recommend manual swapping E46 if your content auto trans fails. I might do one in the future. I might do one. What's up, Blue Saber? Oil pump. I think Zuko's just bitter because he can't grow a mustache. I don't think you have enough testosterone in your body. Yeah, sustained high RPM sounds like it makes it come off, huh? So tracking it and really beating the crap out of it. I had a car that shook from braking because of bad. That's totally a possibility. If they were leaking, maybe it could cause it. I would still, like, anytime I'd have a shimmy on braking, brakes is the first thing I'd go to. But if you were to get a nice pair of digital calipers that could fit over the rotor lip and you could measure run out, that would be a perfect way of seeing if they actually have run out. And if they don't, then you could look at other components and not have to do a brake job for the hell of it. Yeah, you know, that's a good idea. Doing a second channel, K2MC. I'm sorry, that was Jester that said that. What about maybe not a shop, but a training or school type shop? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't have the knowledge to train or teach other people. Like, I didn't even know how to do the latches on that E46 job. I literally looked at a bunch of guides and different YouTube videos and then compiled it and then fumbled my way through it. I can't teach you guys how to rebuild a transmission. I know how to replace parts, and I know some of the gravy jobs that I learned how to do, but my skill set isn't there, and there are people that are better suited to teach and train beyond what I can. So we'll see. We'll see what happens as time goes on. I was thinking about doing a second channel, like you're talking about, Jester. I don't know. I'm gonna post some DIY, home DIY stuff on this channel because there's a lot of my viewers that would also like to see that as well. And I might hamstring myself by creating a second channel, and it might take a while for that channel to grow and reach that new audience, but we'll see. Maybe I will do a second channel. I'd like to just do kind of one big channel, but I have seen a lot of success with other people doing two channels, and maybe I could just give a shout out on this one to push some subscribers over there that would watch it. I feel like also it might hurt my analytics a little bit if there's a lot of BMW fans on here that will just not watch my DIY videos on the property. So we'll see. Blue Saber says he's here because I learned many lessons from me too. 2016 X3, what to be worried about? I'm not sure what engine's in there. Yeah, I'd need more information on what engine. Prior to finding you, I digested a ton of 50 Kids videos on E46s, which helped out a ton. Your videos have been incredible and love the look out for while you're in there. So awesome, thanks. Thanks, William, really appreciate that. I have got Freddie Mercury before. I also got the dude from Linkin Park, the guitarist. It's the mustache is what's making you say Freddie Mercury. Yeah, David Archuleta, Jonas Brothers. You know how I look like the most though? Alec. Did anyone she seems like she's a really good pup. All the pits I've ever met, dude, she's the biggest lover. She's so sweet. I can't wait to have kids. I really, really want to have some children and find future wife. And I cannot wait to raise some kids and have little Sage playing around with little babies. That's going to be one of the highlights. What is the must-have tool you recommend? My Milwaukee Impact is the best. Knipex pliers, and if you're going with electric tools, Milwaukee's pretty dang hard to beat. Have you noticed Panther now that you mention it, you are right. Panther, now that you mention it, you are right. What did Panther say? I don't see anybody named Panther. Have you noticed real differences in longevity between OEM fluids and parts and high quality aftermarket on BMW? I really stick with OE. When I worked at the shop I did, we were OE purists. We didn't do aftermarket suspension kits. We didn't do aftermarket clutch kits. So I'm a big OE guy. I really like Liqui-Moly. ZF transmissions, I do ZF trans fluid. Coolant, I use Xerox G48, but I just try to stay as close to OE as possible. What diagnostic computer do you recommend to buy for under $1,000? I bought this Lenovo ThinkBook. It was like $400 and I run ISTA on it. It's 500 gigs, it's great. I just use it for BMW software. My recommendation would be buy a 1 terabyte so you can have enough room for ISTA and ISTA-P. I don't have enough room for both programs. What are your thoughts on a 2021 B48? I don't really know much about the little 4-cylinder diesels, sadly. XD. Boone rosin. Don't do it. The mustache perfection reminds me of Freddie Mercury. Keep it. Oh, I might keep it for a little while. Maybe reach out to other YouTubers about merch. Yeah. Boone, how you know Loco Fish? Honestly, I've been there maybe once. I got a Western burger, but I don't think you get a Western bacon cheeseburger from a fish taco place. I need to know more about you though, Boone Rosin. How do you know? Frank Silva, I'll think about that. If I see any YouTubers doing merch, I'll see. Jester says, I went to a tech school, BMW factory school 25 years ago. I still use YouTube videos to learn how to do stuff. Google and YouTube would have been a godsend back when I was turning wrenches professionally. Dude, it is such a valuable resource. Like you were coming up in the days when it's just a book, a service manual. And sometimes you need info, you got to go to the library. Like we have so much information at our fingertips now. It's such a blessing. 100% jelly on the mustachio. Also, do you use any Vevor stuff? Picked up their 6-in-1 TIG. My old lift, not this Max Jack, but that one over there, it's like their version of the Quick Jacks. It's like $1,200 or $1,300. Gets like 26, 28 inches of height. That thing was solid the whole time I used it. I was always a little skeptical of it because I'm putting my life and safety underneath that thing, but I've been happy with it. My brother's got a bunch of Vevor stuff. He's been happy with it too. I try to support domestic companies as much as possible, but sometimes it's nice just to buy cheap Vevor stuff. That's really the only Vevor thing I own. Any BMW jobs you'd never recommend DIY, even from an experienced home mechanic? Honestly, no. Like timing chain, turbos. It's all about getting the car up in the air far enough to be comfortably underneath it, dropping subframes and stuff, but I can't think of anything that I wouldn't recommend. Windshield replacement. I would pay a professional glass shop to install your windshield. You lived in Eureka for 3 years. Dude, I hit Central Sandwich all the time. I like their turkey club. That's cool. That's cool. I am very close to Central Sandwich. Shh. Do you have to wear rubber gloves to work on stuff? No, but I prefer to, because keep the hands clean. And you know, honestly, like you don't want this stuff soaking into your skin. You can be a cool guy with dirty hands and not wear gloves all the time, but you know, when I'm petting sage and putting grease and oil and coolant, and we don't know what's in this stuff. We don't know the carcinogens that's in all this grease and grime and engine oil and fuel. And so I'd like to be healthy in my later years, and so I try to use protection. I don't have any particular brand of rubber gloves that I use. I've been using these Hardys from Harbor Freight. My favorite is it's like Microflex. It's a latex glove. But they don't, like, nobody sells latex gloves anymore, which sucks. Latex is my favorite. I gotta cover this crankshaft. Any glove will do. Any glove is better than no gloves. I was a bit scared when you first installed the lifts. How thick is your garage slab? It's 4 inches. And I have snugged up the anchor bolts. I'm keeping a close eye on them. And if they start to lift at all, I'm just going to unbolt it, shift it forward, and drill new ones. But minimum requirement for the max jacks is it's just standard, like 4-inch slab, and you're good. But mine's been good, and I don't even think I hit any rebar. Yeah, it's been bitching. And it's got 1, 2, 5 bolts on each one, so. William grew up on Chilton manuals. Yeah, I used to sell those at O'Reilly. Honestly, they're still a great resource to have. You can get digital copies now too. I'm using Snap-on electric ratchets right now, but I used to have Milwaukee's. I got this thing for free and put a new head on it. I also really love this long neck 3/8. This thing's a beast. But if I were to buy electric ratchets, I'd buy Milwaukee all day. Don't waste your money on Snap-on. Partnering with Harbor Freight would be cool. Get them to set you up with tool storage, shelving. I would love to. Harbor Freight doesn't really partner with creators. Correct me if I'm wrong. I talked to them at SEMA, and they pretty much do all their marketing in-house. I see some people do, like, you know, this week on sale in Harbor Freight, and they like make content in the store, but they don't actually like sponsor creators, from what I've seen. Jake, if you haven't felt any symptoms of transmission issues, it's not too late. Just use ZF fluid. Use a ZF factory service kit. From your shop experience, what usually causes problems before BMW service intervals call for it? Oil. You want gloves? You want me to put gloves on, Benj? Nitro, like Jester says, nitro's a little bit stronger up against solvents. But I love the feel of latex, and they're just like stronger until you get brake cleaner or fuel on them, and then they turn gooey. From your shop experience, what usually causes problems before BMW service intervals call for it? BMW has way too long of oil service intervals. If you go off CBS data on the dash, it wants you to do an oil service every 15K. That is absolutely stupid. You should be doing an oil service every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, 7,000 miles maximum. You can code the CBS or even do it with ISTA and change your CBS data to be shorter, but faster oil service intervals so you don't run into rod bearings like I did on my E90, and you can protect the rod bearings in your N20, your N55, S65, S85. Oil service intervals. I think you need a classic BMW on the channel again. I just bought an E23 735i. Go with the E. to go. Dude, you're a glutton for punishment, bro. I don't want any early E chassis right now, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. Honestly, I want like a F30. F30 would be sick. M50, M52, that'd be sick. I used to work on M52s a little bit. I did some cylinder heads on one once. What's your question, Mr. JLWMR Black? Do you think it's worthwhile to change E90 rear wheel drive oil pan gasket? Fix it. I got videos on it, dude. On my going for broke, restoring a BMW to give it away, I have a E90 oil pan gasket on there. Have you ever tried to retrofit facelift OEM headlight assemblies into a pre-facelift E39? No, I have not. Nothing is lifetime. That's true. Nothing is lifetime, Jester. It's not that bad of an oil pan gasket to do. N51, N52 oil pan gaskets are pretty gravy. I was this old today when I learned you can reprogram my oil service intervals. Wow, I always do mine anywhere. You can change the CBS data and you can reset the intervals, but 5 to 7K is good. 3 to 5K is stellar. Do an N55 swap into an F31. Oh, into a wagon? Dude, I know. I've been doing some research on some F chassis. It's so stupid that they don't give us any turbocharged wagons. That would be probably one of the most popular cars on the market. Hey there, Alec. Wanting to get my car back to your shop and check out the engine and leak issue. Been driving okay though. Talk soon. Cool stream. Has your car been here? I don't know who Chairman Meow. Who are you, Chairman? Has it been in my shop before? What types of connectors do you need for ISTA? We tried to use the RJ45 to OBD, but realized it would only work. I use ICOM to Ethernet. You can use Ethernet to OBD. I'm not positive. I'm not the best resource for ISTA. That might be better research online. But I've been able to do E39, E46, all the way up to F chassis with my OBD2 to Ethernet. Or my ICOM to Ethernet. Black says, I have a 2007 BMW Sport Package, 4.8 liter, very nice car. I want to rebuild the engine. Will it be hard to do? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. Just all depends on what your experience is. Pick up an early N20 engine 3 series. So many with bad timing chains, easy fix. That's possible. I might pick up an N55 too. I'm in talks about it right now. We'll see. Oh, hey, what's up, Ellen? Yeah, that E46 needs some more love. That's for sure. Boone Ross, I need to do my E82 N55 oil pan gasket too. It leaks oil bad, might as well do bearings while. If it's an N55, yeah, might as well do bearings while you're in there. Thank you, Alec. Really enjoyed your videos. I appreciate it. Thank you, Wissamali. All right, guys, I got my bladder's full, so I'm gonna kick off of here, and I gotta get back to being useful today. I gotta get back to my list. I got emails to do. I need to plan my garage layout. I need to go to Harbor Freight and pick up a pressure washer. I need to go buy 3/4 inch copper plumbing supplies. I need to finish cleaning my garage. I need to order oil pump hardware, and I need to go edit a video. Let's finish up these comments real quick. I'm hoping since the new M5 wagon sold like crazy, they'll bring wagons back to the States. I hope so. When was the first time you kissed a man? Get out of here, you loser. You make a hell of a state trooper. That's funny. Pick up an engine bar from Harbor Freight. Pull everything off down below. Really not a bad job. Yep, you get this engine support bar from Harbor Freight for $100. $100. Hope it's an EWG N55 if you go early F. Yeah, I'm not sure what really I'll buy yet, so we'll see. What's the highest mileage BMW? Oh, I've worked on some cars with, you know, 300K plus. It's okay. He's tried to comment 3 times, and none of us can see his comments because he's hidden. He's still giving me some analytics of being a viewer though, so that's cool. Great to hang out. God bless. God bless to you, Craig. Everybody have a blessed rest of your day. Love it. Just not looking forward to doing bearings laying on the ground. Dude, I hear ya. Doing them on the engine stand was an absolute blessing. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. It was nice to do a little what was it, Tuesday? Little Tuesday midday sesh. Thanks for watching. Yeah, best response. Last question, Joseph. Hello, what do I do if it's dealership does my differential fluid and now it's making noise and they said they did it correctly and just don't care? You gotta pursue them, dude. You gotta pursue them. Like, you had a perfectly good differential, you did a service on it, and now it's smoked and it needs a new diff. What type of fluid did they put in there? That's a tough one, man. But I wish you nothing but the absolute best. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you for the support. Be sure to head over to the YouTube channel. Watch my most recent video. It aired on Sunday. Epic convertible top repair. I also have 3 N54 videos coming. Inspection video on Thursday. Carbon cleaning on the intake valves on Sunday. On next Thursday, rod bearing replacement. We're gonna fix water leaks on the E46. We're gonna keep going on this N54. We're gonna install a tankless hot water heater. We got more jobs coming. I hope you enjoyed, or I hope you learned something new. And as always, folks, see you on my next day off. Cheers, everybody. God bless.